morning, USA.
Yo 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 yo.
Charlamagne the God.
Peace to the planet. It's Friday.
Yes, it's Friday. We got our guest hosts from Whoreible Decisions, Weezy and Mandy B. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning. We in the building, y'all.
We here on the right
day.
day.
Yo.
No, not Cinco de Mayo. We here on the right day. Freaky Friday.
There
okay?
we go. Freaky
definitely
Friday.
Y'all wasn't
Friday.
ready to hear about no pee at 6 o'clock in the morning yesterday, but you should be ready today.
Well,
Yes, it's Freaky Friday.
By
It
8
is.
o'clock is when the freakiness really kicks off.
That's right.
It really kicks off.
I'll tell you, this too early for me. I feel like I got hit by a bus. I'll tell you that.
What, you was out last night
No, I
celebrating
thought,
Cinco?
God, I was trying to bring up a pun, Charlamagne.
No, we not doing the bus jokes
Oh,
today.
yeah,
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, my God.
We're a day late. A day late.
Let's
I'm
drop
sorry.
the
I'm
conversation.
sorry. My brain is average right now.
Oh, my
God.
goodness.
My brain is a little mediocre and
Oh, my
typical right
goodness.
now. I'm sorry. I'll get it next time.
Oh,
I just want to let y'all
goodness.
know I'm tired of this story. I mean, there's
me
many
and you
texts,
both.
tweets, DMs, Instagram, social media, Facebook, MySpace, Black Planet, and all things I didn't know exist were hitting me yesterday. So I just want to say salute to everybody out there. Sometimes it's necessary to have those type of conversations.
Good conversation. That's
Great.
Me and
Combo.
Ebony K. Williams don't have beef. We don't hate each other. Well, I don't hate her. She doesn't hate me. She
Why
hit me
would
yesterday.
y'all?
It
Envy, you
said she
missed
appreciates me.
Envy, you missed your actual social media site, Mi Gente. What you talking about? Go ahead and let the people know you was on Mi Gente.
Hey.
I was not on Mi Gente. And shout out to everybody in Kentucky, too. I'm in Kentucky for the Kentucky Derby. That's why I have my my shirt on. Yesterday was the sneaker ball. So that's why I'm a little dressed up now. And I just want to let you know, Charlamagne, don't get excited, but it is Freaky Friday. I have no bottoms on. So just have a top on.
I don't know why you felt to tell me that. I don't know why you
That is
talking
how
about
a
tops
top
and
on
bottoms.
is nuts.
Why you talking about tops and bottoms earlier?
I'm just because I'm a top, and we always talk about tops and bottoms. I'm a top right now. I want to let you know that I'm dressed up professionally, tops, no
I'm
bottoms on.
so glad you're not here. The reason I'm glad you're not here is because it's Cinco de Mayo.
Yes.
And I thought everybody was going to be in the spirit. I thought y'all was going to come in here in sombreros or at least be dressed
I
like
was
Offset
told
and
not
Quavo.
to. Don't do this.
First of all, we're not getting canceled after
Why
yesterday.
would you be canceled? Is we celebrating? I
Yes.
got tequila. You know what I mean?
And see,
I
how
got the good
American
Captain
and
Draconis.
how American of you to say we drinking it's Cinco de Mayo. You know, there's real history behind it. Maybe we'll talk about it later.
I don't know.
Oh,
I
talk that
I
talk.
don't. I just know the tacos and the tequila.
Me too. That's all I know too.
We got
Americans
breakfast
are
tacos
so
coming this morning
mediocre.
too. We are so mediocre. We are so mediocre when it comes to other cultures.
It's
You are
giving you gotta
absolutely
see.
right.
That's Charlamagne. Let me ask you a question. You know, you and Ebony K. Williams are really
Stand
close,
up,
really
bro.
cool.
Stand up. Stand
I'm not.
up. Stand
You
up,
freaky.
bro.
It's
Stand
Freaky
up. Stand up.
Friday. No,
Stand up.
I am not
Color,
standing
Stand
up.
Andy,
up.
just tell us.
Stand up.
What color's what? I don't have nothing
I'm
on.
not answering nothing until you
It's
stand up.
beige.
Your balls to
You
the
gotta
hotel
prove.
chair right now?
At least
Yes.
show us your knee. Show us your knee. At least prove you ain't got no bottoms on. Do like
No.
this. Do like this.
When we go into commercials, I'll turn around for you, right?
No. It ain't the same.
Well, let's get the show cracked. We got a lot to talk about today. When we come back, we got front page news. Tesla Figueroa will be joining us. She'll break down everything that's happening in the news. And, of course, get it off your chest. You can get on the phone lines right now, 800-585-1051. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning. Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Charlamagne the Guy. We are The Breakfast Club. Let's get in some front page news. Now, of course, our guest co-host this morning is Weezy and Mandy B from Whoreible Decisions. And we got Tesla Figueroa. Good morning, Tez.
Good morning, everybody. Breakfast Club, Whoreible Decisions in the building. Charlamagne and DJ Envy. Yes.
Now, last night, the Warriors beat the Lakers 127-100. Anybody seen the game? It was late, right?
Yeah, I watched it. I watched it up until the third quarter. But it wasn't.
Oh, wow.
They didn't just beat them. They washed them.
They did.
Whooped them.
Wiped their ass with the Lakers last night.
Jesus.
Yeah, it was bad.
Jesus.
You
Well,
stayed
let's-
up late, Charlamagne. You normally go to sleep.
Nah, the game came on a little earlier last night. I think it came on like, what, 8 o'clock? 9?
You
Nine
normally
o'clock.
you're normally in the bed though by 7:45. So
8:30.
I actually like that they won because something kind of different that we're getting now. Like, you know, you have your pressers that the athletes have after the games, but Draymond has been very vocal on his podcast during this playoffs, and he said some things about LeBron recently. So I'm just glad that he got him washed and what they're
only
leading
one
now,
game
right?
now.
But
One
they're
game.
leading now, right?
1-1.
No, it's
Oh,
tied.
it's tied.
1-1.
Okay.
1-1.
Who are y'all going for?
I mean,
Do y'all care?
I picked the Warriors at the beginning of the season to win the championship.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right,
so
I think the Warriors got it, too.
I want to be right.
I'll tell y'all what,
I
I feel
don't-
like
I
I'm
wanna be
listening to
wrong.
Spanish on this Cinco de Mayo. I don't
Cinco
know
de
what's going
Mayo!
on. I heard LeBron. I said, that's the word I know for the day.
Jesus.
You know,
Well,
I
Tez.
really try to fake sports when I'm on a date, though.
Really?
Oh, yeah. They be
How you
like,
fake it?
Who's your favorite team? I'd be like, I just love Brooklyn.
Oh my God. Oh my goodness. Tez, give us the
Tez.
front page news, Tez.
Let's talk about the four Proud Boys found guilty.
Yeah, when Donald Trump told the Proud Boys to stand back and stand by, it went wrong. Let's take a listen. I'll give you some facts and we'll talk about it on the other side.
4 members of the far-right Proud Boys convicted of seditious conspiracy.
USA! USA!
A jury finding Enrique Tarrio, the former leader of the Proud Boys, Ethan Nordine, Joseph Biggs, and Zachary Real, guilty of seditious conspiracy and other charges, in a verdict affirming the prosecutor's central allegation that they conspired to stop the peaceful transfer of power on January 6th by attacking the Capitol.
Yep. So again, like you just heard, the guilty verdict marks the third time that prosecutors have secured convictions for seditious conspiracy in the Justice Department's historic prosecution of those who breached the Capitol on January 6th. Now, each of those defendants that you just heard were convicted of at least one charge that carries a 20-year maximum prison sentence. The sentencing date for the 5 defendants have not been scheduled. And as an FYI, guys, by January 6, 2023, which is the second anniversary of the attack, at least 978 people have been charged with federal crimes.
Are these folks getting real time, though? Are they just,
Up to 20 years.
Getting light sentences? I mean, up to 20 years, but what would they actually get?
Yeah, what are they getting sentenced?
The jury, the jury's not still out, but we will see. We'll see what it looks like, and at least they're getting something done, moving the needle, on that. And we've always talked about, Charlamagne, that's been a big thing for you. Like, somebody gonna get charged, somebody gonna get charged. So folks are getting charged, but so we'll see what their time is looking like.
Tez, did you say that the Proud Boys leader's name was Enrique?
Yes.
Happy Cinco de Mayo!
Happy Cinco de Mayo.
Oh my God!
Did not expect that.
My goodness.
All
right.
That was a big shocker for me. I'm gonna be
Tez,
real.
can I ask you, has anybody been sentenced at all? I mean, we're still waiting on sentencing for Tory Lanez, but has literally anyone been sentenced for this act? And what was the sentence, if you know it?
Yeah, it's been over 978 people charged. So charged, but there have been some sentencing on those charges. I don't have that right in front of me to be able to say who was sentenced last.
Right.
But there has been
the guy with the Vikings hat.
No, the last person I remember was a woman from Iowa, 4 days ago, and I think she got sentenced to 5 months in prison.
That's
right.
it?
Yeah, that was like 4 days ago.
Oh, yeah, that's what I want to know. I want to know
through the Black Lives Matter parade or something.
Wow.
Right. Well, let's jump to Andrew Gillum. What's going on with Andrew Gillum? I know we got to run right fast.
Yeah, so while the Proud Boys were found guilty, Andrew Gillum was found not guilty of lying to the FBI. Now, just to refresh everybody's memory quickly, this case in 2022, prosecutors alleged that the former Democrat nominee for governor of Florida and ex-mayor of Tallahassee, Andrew Gillum, took thousands of dollars in which was supposed to be used for political donations and was funneled to his own bank accounts. Prosecutors claimed that Gillum lied about his interactions with the undercover FBI agents who posed as developers and paid for a trip outing to New York. So fast forward, the federal jury on Thursday found him not guilty of lying to the FBI while deadlocking on 18 other counts, prompting the judge to declare a mistrial on those charges. So this is pretty impressive because the feds got a high conviction rate.
Yeah,
They
really do.
When the alphabet come for you, it's a wrap. So this is pretty impressive.
Not only is it impressive that he beat the feds, like, he was like raising money for legal fees, like literally right up to the moment that he had to go to trial. So he didn't even have the money. Now, usually they say, if you got money, you can beat these kind of cases. He didn't even have the money. So clearly the jury found clearly the jury thought he was really, truly not guilty.
I mean, not only that, he's a black man going against the feds.
Absolutely.
Right. So let's mark
this.
Let's mark this down in history. White men were convicted yesterday, and a black man got off. So
Hello.
Happy Cinco de Mayo!
All right. Thank you, Tesla. We'll see you in a couple minutes. Everybody else, get it off your chest. 800-585-1051. If you need to vent, phone lines are wide open. It's The Breakfast Club on BET. Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Charlamagne the God. We are The Breakfast Club. Let's get in some front page news. Now we got our co-hosts, Weezy and Mandy from Whoreible Decisions, and Teslin Figaro is back. Good morning, Tez.
Good morning, everybody.
Ooh, y'all missed some women energy. We in the house.
Yes, they should see behind the scenes. This conversation is lit.
A little too crazy. Now, out there, if you were watching sports last night, the Warriors washed the Lakers last night.
It was bad.
They tied the series 1-1.
I think that's how the rest of the series is pretty much going to go. I mean, I think the Warriors will win in 6, but I don't think it'll be as fun a series as we think it's going to be.
All right. Well, let's get right to the news. Teslin, Tucker Carlson, what's he doing now? What's this text that he's sending that got him fired allegedly?
Yes, one of the texts that he sent is not how white men fight. Text contributed to his firing. So this is just a quick update for those who have been following the story about the Fox News 800 million Dominion voting system settlement. As a result of that lawsuit, yet another text message has been revealed between Tucker Carlson and his producer. Now, the text message was sent hours before Trump supporters stormed the Capitol, and he said, quote, "I was watching a video of people fighting on the street in Washington. A group of Trump guys surrounded an Antifa kid and started pounding the living S out of him. It was 3 against 1 at least. Jumping a guy like that is dishonorable, obviously. It's not how white men fight. Yet suddenly I found myself rooting for the mob against the man, hoping they hit him harder and kill him. I really wanted them to hurt the kid. I could taste it."
You know what's so crazy? I read that, and I saw everybody saying it was racist. The other parts about him wishing the Antifa people would, continue to get beat up on and get killed was way harsher than that's not how white men fight thing to me.
I 100. The fact that they brought it to race, literally, that's a sociopathic thing to say.
Yes.
You wanted him to get beat to death.
Well, he talks about in the text message, correct me if I'm wrong, says about how when he knew that his brain was going there, that it was a problem.
Yep.
But
I was just going to say that. Yep. Because I didn't read the entire, just for the sake of time, but you're right. As the text message continued, he was basically I'll paraphrase saying, like, what's happening to me? What am I turning into? Recognizing that he was becoming
what he hates.
Something that exactly what he hates.
Tez, were these green bubbles? Because you have the option to unsend a message within 15 minutes now on the iPhone, and that is something that should have been unsent.
he thought it was a safe white space. That's what white people do to each other. They text each other crazy stuff. They post them videos about.
Yep.
Think about the man in Georgia that was talking about, someone needs to be lynched today. When I watched that video, he had like 3 of them in different outfits. I'm like, wow. So you say this on the regular? Who did they send it to?
I think somebody from Fox actually leaked those texts. Just to let Tucker know, don't get too sporty with your mouth now. Don't start talking too crazy about us, because there's others where that came from, and there's things that are much, much worse.
Right. Well, you remember his producer. One of his producers is actually suing. I don't think somebody leaked it. It probably was her. You're probably absolutely right in that, because obviously she had all the receipts. So the moral to the story is I won't be texting Eddie. That's the moral to the story.
Now, it is Friday. It's Cinco de Mayo, and it's Freaky, Freaky, Freaky Friday, and good sex is in front page news. Talk to us.
Yes, it is. In honor of Freaky Friday and our guest host expert, Whoreible Decisions, it only made sense to talk about sex. So I wanted to give you a little bit of information. An article in Essence magazine, Dr. Candace Hargens said that good sex is an act of resistance against anti-blackness. She said this is yes, that's right. Fight the power, literally.
Y'all bring racism to every damn thing.
That's right. I gotta weigh it.
Sex gotta be woke.
Love some woke coochie.
That's right. If you want to be woke for real, then have good sex. She said, because the health benefits of good sex, better mood, sleep, good sleep, reduced stress, are powerful antidotes to the exhausting consequences of living in an anti-black world. So for those of you who are struggling with struggle sex and may be confused, saying, Tez, what is good sex? Well, I've taken the time to do the research, and I found that 448 black people were surveyed to define what it is, and they said that it is sexy, erotic, sensual, provocative, raunchy, steamy, kinky, among other words. So this is yet another powerful tool, pun intended, to fight the power. So let's go to our expert correspondents in the building, Whoreible Decisions.
I actually wanted to add a word to that. I think one of the words that I use to describe the best sex that I have is safe. And not in terms of using a condom, but in terms of just being with somebody that I trust and that I know isn't going to leak our text messages or nudes or anything that we do in the bedroom to anyone else. So just knowing that you can have sex safely with somebody that you trust also amps up your mood. My mom knows. Let's get there. My mom knows when I haven't had peen in a while, and that's not really good. She knows if I'm too cranky. She's like, you ain't had sex in a minute, huh?
So that's a real thing when you say to somebody, man, you need to go get.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
It's a real thing.
Listen, I know when Mandy comes in a good mood, does the podcast.
I start singing
this. Did she give me a hug? What the fuck? Now, I'll tell you this. Back to the point of it being helping you fight the power. Was that it?
Yes, that's
Yes.
exactly it.
Yes.
I gotta be honest. If coming into your job every day means you gotta fight the power by whether it be your white coworkers or being the only one in the spot, hell yeah, sex helps.
I didn't know where this was
well,
going. All I heard is
like on a
coming,
serious, like seriously,
coming into
on a
Goodness
yeah,
gracious.
on a serious note, because I'm a social justice advocate, and so I work a lot with Attorney Crump on these cases. And so when we're seeing these cases back to back of people getting murdered and black men, you really do need something to depress.
Attorney Crump need to get laid. I've looked at
That's
Attorney
right.
Crump
And
a million
me,
times on TV,
that's
and he's
me.
like, he
We
need to
need
get
to
laid.
give him
I
some
think
charity.
I think his wife is handling that, but
Oh, he good?
you
Okay,
definitely
okay,
need something
okay.
to-
I'm sorry.
Yeah, you definitely need something to compress. So on behalf of all of the advocates out there that do the work that I do, do it for the community.
And
you know,
also
you,
keep in mind that
you make it.
Oh, I'm sorry, Tess.
Go ahead.
I was saying, keep in mind that like what happens when all the pressures and the news and things are going on, we get so overloaded, we forget about our own pleasure. Whether you're
Right.
partnered or single, you have to. Honestly, when I'm really busy, I schedule time for myself. Literally, I have 10 of them on my hand. Okay,
Yeah.
10 Pete Davidsons, and I have 30 minutes to myself, and I feel completely better. You're
You use
endorphin-
all
Ain't
10?
none of your fingers as big as Pete Davis' penis.
I'm just saying, I got 10. I can make it work. Okay.
I agree with this whole thing because the greatest civil rights activist of all time, is Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. All right, and
And
if you
so-
believe what they say about Dr. Martin
We
Luther
knew
King
he had
Jr.,
the
Getting it
women.
in.
you know what I'm saying? He was living his best life.
All right.
Okay.
Happy Cinco de Mayo!
Happy Cinco de
All right.
Mayo!
Well, that is front page news. Teslin Figaro, we appreciate you. We'll see you on
Thanks,
Monday.
Absolutely. Peace, guys.
He said, and make
All
sure
right.
you subscribe to the Straight Shot No Chaser podcast on the Black Effect iHeartRadio podcast network, hosted by Teslin Figaro. Because Tez, she actually talks about in depth all the stories she talks about in front page news on her podcast. So go check that out this weekend.
Absolutely. All right. And when we come back, let's open up the phone lines. 800-585-1051. We're talking spinning the block. This conversation comes from Nelly and Ashanti. Does getting back with your ex after breaking up for some time ever work out? That is the question. Mandy B, she has some advice about this because she said she's been there before.
Mandy just let out a big sigh. I usually don't ask people what's wrong when they sit next to me inside, but I want to know today.
I mean, Mandy gonna say today that it's not gonna work out, but let's see. This is number 12.
We broke up 12 times.
We'll talk about it when we come back.
Jesus.
Hold on.
So
Yeah,
we'll
we'll
get
do
into
it when we come back, and
We'll
we'll
get
take your
into
calls. 800-585-1051 is the Breakfast Club. Good morning.
Wake that ass up.
In the morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Now, if you're just joining us, we're talking Nelly and Ashanti. Now, reportedly, they're very happy. They're back together after years of not dating. So we're asking 800-585-1051. Does getting back with your ex after breaking up for some time ever work out?
Mandy
now,
called
Charlamagne and myself, we have to step this one out.
No, that happened to me before.
Oh, well, I'm married. I'm stepping this one out. What happened?
No, me and my wife, we've been together. It'll be 25 years this year. I think it might have been her junior or senior year in college. She definitely cut me, and then we were broke up for like a year. And
Really?
that was good for me though, because what I said to myself was I'm going to be the man that she wants me to be. So I started I was doing youth ministry at the mall. So I was doing all types of stuff.
That sounds crazy.
was.
Ministry took me
I did.
down.
I did
You
youth
look like a
ministry.
youth pastor.
You do.
I did youth.
Hold on.
But it worked.
I
And,
did.
and the one that comes in the jeans and the t-shirt to make it seem like you relate to the youth.
But it worked.
I did youth ministry at Muhammad Moss number 38 in Columbia, South Carolina for a little while. And I was doing all of that, just because I wanted to be the man that I know she needed me to be.
Right.
And, after a year, we got back together, and we've been rocking ever since.
See, me and my wife, we never broke up. Never one time. We've been together 29 years, and we never broke up one time. It was like it was over. Never.
Wow.
So I've been lucky.
Goals.
Thank God. I love my wife. Love you, baby. Now let's talk about.
Y'all all do seem very in love with your wives.
I'm not gonna lie, it's a little different for me. I mean, I was just dating the same guy for the last 3 years, and we broke up 12 times. I'm not going to 13.
12?
You said you wasn't going to 12.
I know, but I made it there. But now I'm not going to 13.
Why y'all keep breaking up though? Why?
I mean, there's a lot of reasons. Oh my God, I'm not even gonna list all the reasons.
Give us two.
Top two.
They give us one. Jesus.
I think that we met during the pandemic. We were a pandemic relationship. So when the world started opening back up, I think just my job being hectic, there was a lack of time there. And I think that even just my job, I felt like he projected that I was making him emasculine for one, and then so it brought a lot of insecurities to our relationship.
Because how you talking on the podcast?
There was the podcast he also had issues with because, of course, we have a sex podcast, Horrible Decisions.
Gotcha.
I talk about my relationship, so every time we would break up, I'm heartbroken. I'm gonna say what I want to say, and that's now out there for the world to hear. So you know how when you and of course in your book, Envy, y'all went through things that you guys handled in the household, and I'm sure not everything was brought onto your podcast when you had it, the Casey Crew, until you guys worked through that. Unfortunately, I'm bringing a lot of things that I'm feeling in my emotions on air, and we both record. So it'll literally be I'm talking crazy about him while he's in my house because now a month later we're back together and we're having to relive arguments.
I would feel away because you deal with the problems on air before you deal with it at home. So I got to hear about some of these problems when you're talking about it and how you feel.
Now,
I would feel
Can I
away.
just tell you how this really bothers me?
What?
Mandy, you keep doing this. They asked you what he did. You always say something you did wrong. I'm sorry, but women need to stop doing this when just from the things you've told me personally, we always try to take this ownership of what we did. Mandy, I'm telling you, you are not the problem in this.
No, I don't think I am.
So all 12 times y'all broke up, it was his fault?
Yeah.
God damn.
Jesus.
What the time span of this 12
That's
times?
how good the sex is, bro. Good sex is a prison.
I was in prison.
12 times over how long?
3 years.
Oh, okay. So that's like 4 times a year. That's like once a quarter.
Yeah, it was given quarterly. Quarterly review. He got 2 stars.
Okay.
All right, time to break up.
You
Give
know
us
what
some
makes
time.
me think they were really gonna break up? So when I had dumped my ex, I went on a podcast and was like, fine. I told everything. I spilled it because I thought, hey, if I spill my guts out about all the crazy things he did to me, then I have to be held accountable now by the audience.
Right.
Mandy went and then told us all this tea. Next week was like, well, we back. And we going to the sex club this weekend. I was like, girl.
Well, let's go to the phone
But you know
lines,
what, though? That's
too.
why you shouldn't make, I guess, permanent choices based off temporary feelings.
Nah, it was supposed to be permanent. So here's the problem. Here's the problem, right? And I think this is my problem. Maybe if I date ugly guys, like he just so fine that when I just look at him, I'm like, I can't even be mad no more. You so fine. So maybe this is why all my friends date ugly guys because it helps them to really move on once they fuck up.
No.
Well, let's go to the phone lines. You can't say that word. That word is on the list. I just want to let you know. That word is on the list.
I know. I did good this morning.
Let's go to the phone lines. 800-585-1051. I do want to say it's going to be tough to find a man for both of y'all because they know you're going to put their business out there.
That is not true. I asked for consent.
So then be a good man. Just like TMZ, y'all wouldn't be in the blogs if you did stuff right. When you mess up.
No, I disagree.
Okay.
Listen, I don't have sexual experiences that I just blast out there for anybody. I definitely say, hey, can I talk about this? Would you feel uncomfortable? There's a lot of stuff I've done that y'all ain't heard yet. Wait till they say yeah.
Damn, let's go to the phones.
Hello, who's this?
You got Rick on the phone.
Rick, what's up, brother?
Long Island.
Rick, that rhymes with.
So
Sorry.
my question is, me and my baby mom broke up or whatever, and my question is, should I keep trying to spin the block? She kind of telling me like, yo, you gonna hurt yourself.
I mean, it depends.
So my question, that's for Mandy. That's for Mandy and Weezy.
Go ahead, Mandy.
I mean,
How old's the baby?
Oh, good question.
The baby is 2 years old.
Okay,
We
y'all got 16
got a
years
new
to go.
spot and all that.
Do you
She
know
said
what she
16
means?
years ago, so that's a wrap.
What does she mean by if you keep trying, if you spin it again, you just gonna hurt yourself? Does she know that she can't be a good woman for you?
I don't know.
I think that's the first question. If she's
Why'd you
telling
break
you,
up?
if she keeps telling you don't come back because you're gonna hurt yourself, I think you should know what that means. Does it mean she can't be what you want? Does it mean y'all are just gonna end up broken up again? Like, is there a change in both of y'all's behavior if y'all get back together?
Yeah. You right.
Are you good co-parents while you're not together?
Yeah, we good co-parents. I think that's clearly understood. Like, I love my son, so I ain't gonna never be,
Loving your
innocent.
son isn't good co-parenting, though. Good co-parenting is making sure that you guys can respect each other in front of your son, that you can get along enough, that you can be in the same room. I would focus on co-parenting.
Well, hold on,
first.
brother. Hold on. We're going to put you on hold, and they'll talk to you more behind the scenes because we got a lot of people on the lines that want to talk. Good morning. Who's this?
Hi, good morning. This is Angela.
Hey, Angela. We're talking spinning the block this morning.
Yes, I completely feel like it's a bad idea. I believe that it's a waste of time. It's almost waiting for something wrong to happen again. It's like peeling a scab of an old wound and not letting it heal.
I can still hear the pain in your voice from whatever situation
I hear it. I thought it was a sexy voice he was trying to do. Oh, no, I ain't going to hold you. What she's saying is exactly right. I was just waiting to break up every time we got back together.
But what about wrong place, wrong time? Let's just say right now in my life, I'm too busy. I got to get up 3 o'clock in the morning to sit with y'all. Got to travel too much. Wrong place, wrong time. You can spend a block on that.
What about if you love something, let it go. If it comes back to you, it's yours. I think everybody's situation is different. You know what I mean?
Me too.
A Frisbee come back to you when you throw it. I mean, I don't know about that, child.
Well, we're taking your calls. 800-585-1051. We're talking spinning the block this morning. The question is 800-585-1051. It came from Nelly and Ashanti. You know, they spun the block after years and years and years.
10 years, a decade.
After spinning the block for so long, does it work? Mandy B said it doesn't work for her.
It doesn't work.
Well, let me find out if it works for you. 800-585-1051 is the Breakfast Club. Good morning. Now, if you're just joining us, we're talking about spinning the block. Now, this conversation comes from Nelly and Ashanti and also Mandy. And I'll be...
Stop it, Evie. At this point, no. I ain't going back. Did it, done. Not happening again.
He texting you today. He was like, she on that tequila today. It's Cinco de Mayo. I'm gonna hit her up.
Nope.
She might make some horrible decisions.
The number is blocked. Shout out to the ladies who changed the name in the phone, remove the emojis, put do not answer. You can't have emojis by your name if we done broke up this many times.
So what his name is right now?
His name is now do not answer, but he's also blocked. So boom.
So the question is, do you spin the block? That is the question.
Y'all.
I mean,
I'm about to show you.
Here's one thing. What'd you say, 10 years?
Yes, Nelly and Ashanti was 10 years.
Do not answer.
Yeah, but it's in red, and one is in white. I see one in red. I see one in red and one in white.
That's because his name was something else first.
You know, it looks like it wouldn't go through if you blocked them, though, right?
No, it doesn't. That's from just calls when we was together.
What's up, bro? What's your name?
Not playing with y'all.
Yo, my name is Richie from the port.
Hey, Richie. We're talking about spinning the block. Is it a good idea if you spin the block after a long time? Has it worked for you or it doesn't work? Let's talk about it.
Man, I really can't get into too much, but I got these 2 females who I'm dealing with, and every time they hit me, I spin the block. But when I hit them, they spin the block too. So
okay.
I guess it's a bad thing.
Were you in relationships with either of these women, or is this just a sexual spin the block?
I was in a relationship with both of them.
So what spinning the block look like? Is it like a booty call? Is it like a little date night? What's it look like for you when they call?
Whenever they hit me, I spin the block.
Whenever they hit you, you hit
them. They spin the block. Yeah.
He said they hit me, I hit it. All right.
Thank you, sir. Hello, who's this?
Mindy.
Hey, Mindy. Good morning. How you feeling?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. You spun the block on somebody after a long period of time?
Actually, he spun the block on me. We dated for like a year. We broke up. He got married, had a kid. Then he broke up with her to be with me. He wanted to be with me the whole time. I still got Facebook messages from when he was married messaging me.
Girl, I feel like you called so she could hear your voice.
Damn.
Oh, she very well could.
Oh.
Wow.
So wait, are you with him now, and are they legally divorced?
They are legally divorced. We've been together for next week it'll be 9 years.
Do you okay now?
Charlamagne, you've been a whole mistress for a long time.
I was about to say Charlamagne brought up a saying.
I was never a mistress.
Charlamagne brought up a saying earlier. I want to know if you believe in the phrase "you get him, you lose him, how you get him." Do you think that?
I believe in it, but I didn't get him anyway. He just didn't want to be with. It's a long story. We don't even have that kind of time. She's a horrible person. But I know that for a fact. We currently have his daughter that they have together. She lives with us.
Oh yeah, you want her to hit us?
Can't take care of her.
Damn. So why you say you were never a mistress though?
Because she was with him first.
Because I never was. They were not together.
She said she got back when they broke up.
I don't want nobody else's man. He wanted to be with me, and I got messages where I'm telling him, like, go find your wife. Like, where's your wife? So
Why do
he
we
left
love
her.
saying that,
Where your
but we
wife
replying
at?
to the text.
You replying though?
So he left his wife for you.
Yeah,
So y'all never messed around when he was married.
never. Nope.
Or you just sitting there lying on God on a Good Friday for no
I
damn
would
reason.
never, Charlamagne, don't do that. I actually like you.
Okay. All right, I'll shut up.
Charlamagne, shut later.
What?
Well, thank you, Mama. Thank you for sharing your story.
Thank you.
All right, now what's the moral of the story?
What's the moral of the story, Mandy? I say if you love something, let it go. If it comes back to you, it's yours.
Nah,
First
F that.
off-
You let it go, it might not never come back. Don't let that thing
that's
go.
not true.
A lot
What's
of people
for you
always
don't
come
miss
back.
you.
Oh, there we go.
What's for you will not miss you, yo. So and I'm saying this with a little bit of projection because there's a lot of times that I've had to let someone go to really see if it's worth it. And if they come back, great. If not, then that wasn't the person for me.
Y'all don't believe in breaking up to making up, though? What
No.
What Method Man and D'Angelo wrote that beautiful song for?
No.
Huh?
Mandy,
No.
every 9, 10, 11, was it better every time?
Oh yeah. Yeah, it was good.
See?
Because then
You break up the
thing
makeup,
was
Red. We
good.
got to break up the makeup in there by Method Man and D'Angelo? Probably not.
I'm sure we don't have that. We probably got all you need. We got all you need.
That
Mary
ain't the
and
same.
Meth.
That ain't the same. That's for that's for people who never broke up.
I do love some
I
breakup
wanna hear that
sex.
then.
Oh my God. I want to just role play a breakup. Shut up.
Wake that ass up.
In the morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Damn, Charlamagne, who got the donkey of the day today?
Well, Donkey today for Friday, May 5th goes to a young lady named Q Maria Scott. Q is from Philadelphia. Philly, dropping the clues bombs for the city of brotherly love. Love that city, except for when the Eagles are playing my Cowboys. But we're not here to talk about football. We're here to talk about Q being on a plane, okay, smelling like alcohol, fighting with a Spirit Airlines employee. Did I also tell you she was pregnant? That's right.
Oh.
That's right. I said about 3 things that should be immediate red flags. Number 1, flying Spirit Airlines. All right, my Spirit will never agree with Spirit. Forbes ranked Spirit Airlines the number 2 best airline, and I want to recount. I call cap. Okay, I will never forgive Spirit for playing with my emotions. They had them low-ass $100 tickets for round trips. I got one, all excited, had to be somewhere. Don't even remember where I was going. Beautiful sunny day, and they just canceled the flight when I was at the airport. Never refunded me my money. Had me sitting on the customer service line for hours listening to Mozart and Beethoven classic symphonies. Oh! I despise Spirit. Number 2 red flag in this situation, she was pregnant. Number 3 red flag, she was allegedly drunk. 4th red flag could be Philadelphia, but I don't want to say that about Philly.
my gosh.
All right, but all I know is pregnant, drunk, Spirit Airlines. There is not a greater recipe for violence than this, and that's exactly what happened. Let's go to Fox 5 Atlanta for the report, please.
Look at this. Under the woman in the gray casual attire is a manager for Spirit Airlines, who couldn't have had any expectation that her customer service duties would include an airport gate brawl. That announcement to shocked onlookers makes the episode that much more bizarre. The woman identified as Quay Maria Scott had just been denied boarding. She gathered her carry-on and started walking away. A police officer down the D concourse stopped her.
She needs to be arrested. I'm pregnant.
What can explain a pregnant passenger putting herself and child at risk? The Atlanta police officer said Ms. Scott smelled of alcohol.
Good Lord, was that Krishan Rock?
I sure hope not.
I heard pregnant and disorderly. I said
6 months pregnant, drunk, fighting on Spirit Airlines, and bragging about it. Okay, this is why Roe v. Wade should have never been overturned, all right? No, I'm going to tell y'all why. The constitutional right to an abortion, I don't know what the laws are in Philly in regards to abortion or Georgia, and I know you can't get no abortion at 6 months anywhere, I don't think, but there is no way this woman wants this child, okay? And all these actions tell me she's trying to get rid of this baby, okay? Flying Spirit, 6 months pregnant, drunk, why?
I mean, even drinking while pregnant. What are you doing?
Yes.
That's crazy.
Yes, everything is a miss with Spirit. They mishandle your luggage. They always say, Miss, can you sit your ass down? And now because Miss Q wanted to throw hands, she put herself at risk for a miscap. You know what? Never mind. All I'm saying is, at 6 months pregnant, you should be trying to avoid stress. And one of the most stressful situations I've ever experienced was attempting to fly Spirit.
Well, yeah, you got to pay for water. You got to pay for air. You got to pay for the seat you sit in.
Your pilot goes to the back and be like, hey.
You got to bring your own seat
Come
belt.
on, man. Cancel your flight for no reason, won't refund you your money. Q, you had no reason flying Spirit, and you damn sure had no reason to be drinking alcohol at 6 months pregnant. All right, there's women out here trying to get pregnant every day.
Absolutely.
And they can't. All right, they're taking care of their bodies. They're going to see their doctors. They're eating healthy, meditating, doing all they have to do to experience the blessing that you are taking for granted. And you had to know that in Atlanta, ain't nothing good happening on Spirit Airlines. Spirit Airlines got Popeye's chicken and N-word cookies energy. Okay? You can even tell by the way they announce the boarding of flights on any other airline, especially JetBlue and Delta. Those are my favorites, all right?
Same.
JetBlue and Delta sound like this. Listen.
Good morning, passengers. Thank you for flying Delta Airlines. I am Amy, and we'll be boarding in 5 minutes. Thank you for flying Delta Airlines. We appreciate you.
See, that's Chick-fil-A worker energy. All right? That's what you get with most other airlines. But this is Spirit Airlines energy.
What up, y'all? My name is LaShondra Nay. Appreciate y'all for flying Spirit or whatever. We're going to board this flight as soon as we find a pilot. So unless one of y'all know how to drive a plane, y'all can stop coming up to this desk.
See, what I'm trying to tell y'all.
That's crazy.
I'm trying to tell y'all that Spirit Airlines is typical. They're mediocre. They're average.
Let me tell you something.
They are the bigotry of low expectations.
Yo, you gotta chill.
Okay, and Q, so is your behavior.
Spirit Airlines is ghetto.
Yes. Please give Q Maria Scott the biggest hee-haw.
Weezy, Mandy, would you date a pilot from Spirit Airlines?
Man.
Sure would.
If he owned the Spirit.
Don't do that.
Can I be honest with y'all? Spirit is so ghetto that, like, if I was white, it would be enough to make me racist.
Oh my God.
Wow. I pass that terminal. I be like, yo, sometimes they wear jeans. What the hell going on? Where is the uniform? Like, what is going on?
It's
bro?
literally the Greyhound in the air.
People look. Don't talk about buses, Mandy. We're over
I'm
it.
sorry. And I said I wasn't going to bring up a bus ever again.
So you ever walk by it? They just look so stressed out. Like, if you hear people yelling, you know it's for the Spirit terminal. And you're right, Delta, you come in, it just feels like class. Even if you're in the back.
All
Shout out to all of the day.
Well, Charlamagne, thank you for that donkey of the day.
That's right.
BET, we'll see you guys on Monday. Have a great weekend.
Mandy and Weezy.
Bye, BT.
Everybody else, it's Friday, so you know what that means.
It's Freaky
Friday. And the Freaky Friday question is 800-585-1051. We're talking watching porn. Does watching porn with your partner help or hurt your sex life? That is the question. 800-585-1051. Is it giving an unrealistic perception of sex? Is that what it's doing?
Only the penis sizes. Okay, that's just me?
The stamina.
Is that you?
It's just me, huh?
What woman is riding like that in real
stamina,
life?
the wetness, the cum shots, and I'm sure you're going to have to bleep me out from that, but
Definitely bleep you out. So let me ask it again, because we had to hit the dump button. But
Okay.
800-585-1051. We're talking Freaky Friday. Does watching porn with your partner help or hurt your sex life? Is it giving an unrealistic perception of sex? We'll talk about it when we come back.
Sizes.
You said that twice.
There's more than that.
So I see what you're into.
There's definitely more than that. Look,
We'll talk about it when we come back. We'll talk about it when we come back. Mandy, you're scaring me. We'll talk about it when we come back. We got one dump left. 800-585-1051. It's the Breakfast Club.
Go use the bathroom, Andy.
Donkey of the Day is brought to you by the law office of Michael S. Lamonsoff. Don't be a donkey. Dial pound 250 on your cell and say the bull if you've been hurt in a construction accident. That's pound 250 from your cell and say the bull.
Wake that ass up.
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ Envy, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club.
Hey, yo, let the record show, Envy. I've never seen anyone eat as fast as I just saw Weezy eat. Somebody bought Weezy some McDonald's in here on a nice plate. It was some hash browns and an egg McMuffin, I believe. And she devoured it within 30 seconds.
She said that throat deep.
I'm telling you. I mean, she sucked it up. She sucked it right up.
Whoa.
Weezy, I want you to slow down in so many aspects of your life, starting with eating.
No, she said she likes to swallow. Hello. She swallowed it.
Okay, I don't know how you got swallowed.
And then she went to sleep immediately after. Just straight, I mean, the itis kicked in immediately. We had to wake her up to jump on the microphone.
Okay, I just want to say, I woke up so early, it feels like I've been hit by a bus. And
oh my God, again. Jesus.
On some realness, it's so early to get up and get into hair and makeup for this job.
Yes.
That I see how Just Hilarious had diarrhea that morning because you got to drink coffee to get up.
Yeah.
You got to eat and all that. Like I'm turning right now.
So you're saying you have diarrhea right now?
I'm not saying I have it right now.
It's coming.
It's on its way.
I'm just saying.
It's on its way. It'll be here by 8:30.
All
Happy
right,
Cinco de Mayo.
Well, let's get to the rumors. Let's talk Drake.
Rumor has it, rumor has it.
Call out a name, or you gossiping, or you chatty patty.
I'm gossiping.
This is the Rumor Report.
I mean, I guess we on the Breakfast Club. This is where the tea spills, right?
Right. On the Breakfast Club.
Well, if you want to live like Drake, you can actually purchase Drake's property. Now, Drake's property is in Beverly Hills. It's 24,000 square feet. He purchased it a year ago for $75 million, and you can have this property for $88 million. Y'all guys want it? You want it? Huh?
Listen, I'm a stern believer in acting your wage, but I will never understand what does a house do for $88 million.
I don't think that like.
Wait, do you know anything that like what does it come with? What are the specs? I don't care about 24,000 square feet.
What does it do?
Well, it doesn't do anything. It's in Beverly Hills, which is probably one of the most expensive zip codes. It does have a tennis court. It has 11-car garage. It has, I think, like 13 bedrooms or something like that.
That's not
but
enough.
It's just
It's
where
not.
it's located. It's just prime real estate.
I mean, I will say, anybody that's ever been to LA, one of the most impressive things to me driving around is when you look up and you see those homes. I mean, it's like.
What, on the mountains, on the hills?
Yeah, in the hills.
On the
And
hills.
Beverly Hills goes up as well. Like, literally, your ears start popping. And
Does the
it's
hill
like,
come with the $88 million? Do I own a
Right.
hill now?
Do I own the land?
It better F me every night. Somebody better be in the house. They better have the girls in all 13 rooms available for me.
No, the house should be effing you for $88 million. Like, the house should be able to turn into like a transformer or something. Like, the house has to do something other than just be a house for $88 million.
It does make me think if he purchased it though for it because he really likes his house in the 6. You can look it up on the map.
Right.
Like everyone
Yep.
kind of knows where he lives in Toronto. But during the pandemic, we did see the lowest interest rates for home buying, and so for him to already being able to sell it for what is that, a $13 million increase? You said
Yes.
7 or yeah, right?
Yeah. 70. It was 75. He purchased it for. He's selling it
And
for
now he's
88.
selling
But I'm
it
sure
for
he's not.
88.
Back in there.
He's not going to get 88 for it, but I'm sure he'll probably get
He'll
$7
definitely
to
get
$10
a nice
million.
profit.
Yep.
I'm not mad at
You
that.
know, I do. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I said if I read correctly, the original person that he bought the house from was like $30 million that she built it for.
Oh,
something like
wow.
Yeah, bought it for $33 million in 2015.
And sold it to him for 74.
For $75 million, correct.
I wanted to ask you, Envy. I recently purchased a property and, tried to. When it got down to it, the lender wouldn't give me a loan because the building was so delinquent in HOA fees. And they said that this is a common thing because of the low interest rates during the pandemic, that so many people were able to buy property and now they can't afford to keep it up.
Correct.
Have you heard about that?
That's a lot of. It's happening to a lot of people. Interest rates were so low. Interest rates shot back up to. I mean, at one
It's
time
like
you could
at
buy a
like
house for like
8%
1.9,
now.
2%. Some places 2.5, and now it's 6-7%.
Yep.
But the HOA fees, which is the home occupant fees, are usually expensive, and those are the ones that's supposed to take care of your grass,
Right.
your roof, and the things outside your
Trash.
home.
Yep.
And some of those things are so expensive, and some of those properties they don't allow you to get those cheap FHA loans as well. So
Right.
it does happen a lot.
Shout out to the mortgage guy. I found him on the Breakfast Club. He actually helped me get a decent
MG.
rate of
Mack.
5.5.
There we go.
I will tell y'all this: do not flex too early, because I was on the gram like I'm a homeowner, bitch, and now I gotta shut up. I was like,
He said, that bit.
and you know, it's not even me, right? I've got a great credit score. I'm making good money, but it was literally the lender saying 15% of the building is delinquent on HOAs. Like, we're
Wow.
not giving you no money.
Damn.
Right. But you just got to be careful too. And now might be a good time. House prices are starting to come down. Inventory is still low, but you could probably get something in the next couple of months because they keep saying recession is scaring people, and you might be able to get a steal.
Don't air quote that recession. We are in it. Eggs was $10 just yesterday. Okay,
Right.
so I think we're definitely there. I am waiting for it. We know just even from 2008 that a recession comes with a real estate bubble burst as well. So
Correct.
I'm kind of waiting for that myself.
Absolutely. Now let's jump to Ed Sheeran. Ed Sheeran was found not liable in the Marvin Gaye copyright trial. Now he spoke out after court, and this is what he said.
I'm obviously very happy with the outcome of the case, and it looks like I'm not having to retire from my day job after all. But at the same time, I'm unbelievably frustrated that baseless claims like this are allowed to go to court at all. We've spent the last 8 years talking about 2 songs with dramatically different lyrics, melodies, and 4 chords which are also different and used by songwriters every day. And I think we proved for all to see that they tried to manipulate my and Amy's song to try and convince the jury that they had a genuine claim. Like artists everywhere, Amy and I work hard to independently create songs which are often based around real-life personal experience. It's devastating to be accused of stealing someone else's song when we've put so much work into our livelihoods. I'm just a guy with a guitar who loves writing music for people to enjoy. I am not and will never allow myself to be a piggy bank for anyone to shake.
His PR.
Read this verbatim.
Right. I was gonna say his PR did a good job writing that. I'm not gonna lie. I actually wanted him to lose this case.
Why?
First off, I do believe the Marvin Gaye estate deserves the win on this. Also,
I didn't hear it.
Well,
let's listen. Let's listen. Before you go further, let's listen for the people. Let's listen.
Okay.
When your legs don't work like they used to before.
That's the mashup. That's both of them together. You got the singular versions where it's just his version and just her version? No, you don't have that up, right? No, of course.
What
were you saying,
I'm glad
man?
they ain't play that in court as evidence.
Yeah, right.
He'd have been found guilty.
Ed Sheeran is one of the GWPs, man. I love Ed Sheeran. I love how much black people love listening to his music, and I love that he's not a wigger. I can't stand when white people black people start loving him, and then they start getting a little black scent on you. I really rock with Ed, and I didn't feel like his song sounded similar.
Glorilla is currently getting sued right now as well for her Tomorrow record.
Now, when I heard that beat, I think that's
what you played that.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, just in terms of being a creative, there are a lot of things that people inspire, especially with tones, with melodies, with words sometimes. There's another artist that I just interviewed. I'm not going to bring it up because I don't know if there's a lawsuit coming or not. But literally, she didn't know. And now the artist doesn't want her to use it. I think that you do kind of have to give credit where it's due. I think this is one of those spaces.
But this happens a lot, though, with every artist.
It happens a lot.
And,
it happened with Jay-Z, with Big Pimpin' a couple of times. It happens so many different people. People feel like people steal their melodies, their tones, their snare drums, their kicks. And it happens. But in this case, he was found not guilty.
I think a lot of those musical chords kind of are all the same, but I think it just depends on how big the record got. There's probably a bunch of people.
That makes sense.
There's probably a bunch of people who use the same type of chords as Let's Get It On, but we don't hear those songs.
Well, the songs are queued up now.
One of the biggest songs ever in the history of life.
Those songs are queued up now, so just play a little bit right now for people that don't know. They can hear both songs.
Darling, I will be loving you.
Great record, man.
Hey, this is an amazing record.
Tough record.
And Let's Get It On is 10 times better.
That's what I'm
And
saying.
that's saying a lot.
I love both records.
Well, I just don't hear the comparison. And this is way more soul in Let's Get It On. A lot more seasoning on Let's Get It On.
Well, one is
also,
black and
I
one
read
is
that
not.
Ed Sheeran's grandmother died and he couldn't even make it to her funeral because he had to deal with this.
That's true.
Terrible.
Yes, that's true.
Well,
All
that's
right. Well, that
unfortunate.
is your rumor report. Now, when we come back, we got front page news. Teslin Figueroa will be joining us, and we're opening up the phone lines, 800-585-1051. We're talking about Ashanti and Nelly. Now, we're talking about spinning the block. Sometimes if you wait so long to spin the block, does it work? Does that work for you? 800-585-1051. They said Mandy B spun the block 12 times.
705 times.
We're going to talk about that when we come back to It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.
Wake that ass up.
In the morning.
The Breakfast Club. Wake that ass up.
In the morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Charlamagne the Guy. We are The Breakfast Club. We got a special guest in the building, friend to the room.
That's right.
Family, Shanti Das. Welcome.
You know Shanti comes once a year because National Silence the Shame Day.
Yes,
That's right.
This is year 6, y'all. You
Year
weren't here
6.
last year, but
I wasn't here. No, I was on the road.
Yep.
You was trying to YouTube us this time too. You was trying to FaceTime. You said we want you in person, so we glad that you were able to make
Yes,
it. For people that don't know, that live under a rock, what is National Silence the Shame Day?
So National Silence for Shame Day is a day for our organization, but it's also a day just to really normalize the conversation on social media. We want to get people talking more about mental health and spreading the message. Also, it's a day that we raise funds for our programs because we are still that little engine that could, a grassroots organization for mental health, but I think we're making a national and global impact.
And how are you? Let's start there. How
Thank
are
you for asking that. So you know what? I am the best I have been since my suicidal ideation.
Wow.
I have been in therapy consistently now for about 1.5 years. I have a really dope African-American sister back home, and she has really helped me navigate my grief and my loss. But I just wake up every single morning. It's so much negativity that's still happening in the world, natural disasters, the mass shootings and so much else that's going on. But I really wake up and choose joy in the mornings. And that's not to say I don't have bad days, but I am happier than I've ever been. I'm even ready to start dating again. I haven't been on a date in 8 years.
Wow. 8 years. Wow.
And that was when I was, almost took my own life, and then my sister's death, and then caring for my mother, and then when she died, and then just this work is heavy work. But I'm finally focusing on Shanti now.
I'm glad you talk about grief a lot, because I think grief is something that none of us navigate well. I think that, not just in the Black community, but just, in society at large, we see so much death, and like the only remedy is just to keep it moving. I don't think that's healthy at all.
I don't think it is either. And just last week, 5 of my friends all lost parents in 1 week. And so, I was trying to be there for them and just sending them positive affirmations and messages each day. And I went to a couple of the funerals, helped a couple of them plan some things out. But what I tell them is you got to lean into it. When the person first passes away, of course, it's a lot to be done and you're getting inundated with calls and messages and flowers and stuff. But it's like those months afterwards, right? When the grief creeps back in and certain things remind you of your loved one. Lean into it. It's okay. And especially for men, a lot of times men don't want to cry about it. But I say, cry if you need to. Get it out. It's really therapeutic.
What else has helped you with grief? I mean, is just feeling what you feel enough?
No, traveling has helped me a lot too. Okay. Sometimes I need to just get out of the space, that I'm used to being in with that loved one. And so travel is like a new love language for wellness for me is what I like to call it. And also sometimes, just reminiscing with family. I think families oftentimes when people pass away, they want to try to move on from it and act like almost like it didn't happen and only celebrate on those milestone days like birthdays. But no, talk about your loved ones, share pictures, create vision boards of what that life was like and what you want life to look like, right? It'll help you grieve through that process. And then also seeing a grief counselor. We talk a lot about therapy. Grief counselors help a lot. There are a lot of great organizations that are out there. But just, do things that remind you of your loved ones. Like I take walks and I try to, when I'll see a red cardinal or butterflies, like, I don't know that my loved one's spirit is there, but it gives me something to hold on to and that faith. And like, I swear every time I'm feeling some kind of way, a red cardinal will like fly across, either the car or in my direction. And I'm like, okay, mom, or okay, sis, like I hear you. Everything's going to be okay. So it's all from a spiritual perspective, too. For me, I just try to find ways that connects me to their spirit.
When you talk about wanting to date now, did you purposely not want to date because you knew you had a lot going on with yourself and you didn't want to bring that to somebody?
Yeah, I wasn't in the right mental headspace for that. I needed to get Shanti together. And, I don't know if I'll get asked out in a couple months and now I'm still living for me, right? I'm not just looking for somebody to save me, but it would be nice to have that companion.
Have people been trying to holler the last couple of years?
A little bit, but not really. I'm a terrible dater too, though. I don't know how to flirt. I don't know. I'm the best networker you ever want on your team, but dating, I'm really bad.
Right. So is this event? Is this where people can come out to it, or is it more of like just an initiative and movement silence?
So this time we're not doing anything live. Okay. It's just an initiative online. But we did just, I want to mention, come off the heels of May 1st with it being Black Children's Mental Health Day. We had a senator in Georgia, Senator Anderson, that wrote a resolution for us designating May 1st as Black Children's Mental Health Day. First state to do it. And so we want to be able to take this to all the other states. And so we had a really dope teen wellness clinic. We call it our COPE clinic. And we had about 100 students from Atlanta Public School Systems. And so we had like a sound bath session for them. We had this one cool thing called Lyrics Prescribed, where we kind of talked through lyrics and relate it to everyday life.
Dope.
We also did a live podcast with a couple of teens. And then we had some expression stations, different things that, from a sensory perspective that the students could do. So we're really trying to do that on a national level. So I'm hoping that we can partner with the Mental Wealth Alliance and do some really cool stuff for that.
I'm down, 100%.
Yeah, so it's just a lot of good stuff that's going on right now. But I do also want to mention that the CDC released a new report in the last couple of months stating that Black suicide rates have increased almost 37% from 2018 to 2021. So one of the things that we're doing at Silence to Shame is focusing heavily on Black youth and Black men. So we have a suicide prevention summit coming up on September 30th, which maybe, if your schedule is clear, we'd love for you to come down and do that. But we have to really pour.
September 30th?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
We have to pour more into our Black youth. In the last couple of weeks, I've had friends that told me that their friends, had a child that has attempted. And so I think coming out of this pandemic, our Black youth are really hurting.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a lot going on. And so we have to be able to provide them with healthier ways to cope. So.
Now, for a parent that's listening right now, what do you suggest to them if they feel like their children are going through something or it's difficult for their child?
Talk to them. And I know sometimes it's hard to talk to your kids because they have that cell phone and they feel more comfortable talking to their peers. So I get that. But as a parent, I'd rather talk and say something and have them mad at me later than have my child attempt and not be here.
That's right.
The other thing, too, is when they talk to you, you actually got to listen, parents. Sometimes things can go over our head or we're trying to, fix them instead of just really sitting there letting them get it out. And then, of course, family therapy is also a good option. But please listen to your kids.
I feel like kids nowadays are more prone to get help in regards to their mental health.
They are to a certain degree, but more and more that we do a lot of events with the teens, some of them are still afraid to open up and share. And I think fear is still a factor there. That's why even with, a lot of celebrities and athletes and different people opening up and helping to normalize the conversation, that's why we need more funding to do these type of events, because you don't know what you don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think if there's still a certain level of fear there, once they learn about mental health and learn that everything doesn't have to be so severe, it doesn't mean that you're going to take your own life, but mental health is how you act, think, and feel, right? And that affects every single thought process and everything that you do. And so we just want to educate our kids more around mental health so that they cannot be afraid, to get the help or to share and talk more about it.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to ask you, what's the most difficult hurdle you have with trying to get money to do these programs?
So it's interesting, and thank you for asking that. So people look at nonprofits like we are just these superheroes, and so many of us are, but it's still a business. So we still need operational funding. A lot of the grant funding that you receive is just more programmatic, where the majority of the percentage of it goes towards programs and not towards staff. And so we just need some of these larger foundations and corporations to give foundations operational funding, because we still have to run it like a business. We still have to hire people, right? We still have to log those hours for putting these programs together. So that's something that we really need. The other thing I want to mention that we're excited about, we're always trying to do innovative things to stay rooted in the culture. And so on May 16th at the Gathering Spot in Atlanta,
Love the Gathering Spot.
Me too. Shout out to Ryan and TK and the whole team. We're going to be doing an intimate conversation where I'll be interviewing DJ Drama about his journey through emotional health and wellness, and he's never shared publicly about it. So we're really excited about that.
dope.
And so we're always trying to again, come up with things that we can do in the culture and stay focused.
Talk to us about the suicide prevention summit. Are you right?
Yep, it is Saturday, September 30th. Again, we're focusing heavily on Black men and Black youth. It'll be a one-day summit in Atlanta. We'll have different panel discussions, live podcasting, breakout rooms, kind of similar, to the summit that you do, but totally more so around, suicide prevention. We're going to have different people share their lived experiences. We have a couple of people that have attempted suicide and lived, and they're going to share their journey. So
I say completed because of you. You said attempted though.
Well, attempted is different instead of committed.
Oh, duh.
Yeah,
I'm an idiot.
Yeah, so you can say attempted because if you attempt, it doesn't mean that you complete it.
But don't say you killed. Don't say somebody killed themselves.
Yeah, I try not to say committed suicide because it denotes a criminal act. So we say either died by suicide or committed.
Or completed.
I'm sorry. Yes.
Got you.
Yep. So we're really excited about that, and we're hoping that we get more partners involved. And we want to just, really be able to let people know that hope is still alive. And suicide should not be an option, even though sometimes when you're in the thick of it and you really don't think that there's another way out. Because when I was having my own suicidal ideation, I couldn't kind of see a light at the end of the tunnel.
Do we do
you
enough?
didn't want to see the light at the end of the tunnel?
I didn't want to die.
Really?
I just wanted the pain to go away.
Ooh.
But I did not know how to do that. I didn't want to die. But that was the only way that I saw possible at that time. And so, again, my sister intervened. I called the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. which is now 988, which you can just dial 988 and get connected to a crisis counselor. But it was deep. That was the toughest moment of my life. I just kept hearing, you know how you hear people say, oh, I had thoughts. And I really did have these thoughts saying, kill yourself, kill yourself. And I had to just get out of the house. It was tough.
I'm glad you said that because we don't talk about the why enough. You know what I mean? Like, especially like you'll see a lot of these kids and just people, they be on drugs, they drink a lot. And we say, oh, you got a drug problem. Or, you know, you drink too much. But what's the why? The why is they're probably trying to escape
Of course.
pain.
Yes, it's like the pain can be so deep and debilitating that you almost crawled up in a ball and you don't know what to do. You know, and people are so quick to judge, and, you know, God bless the trollers, because I feel like everybody deserves a little grace. But, you know, it's so bad when someone dies by suicide. Even like, you know, rest in peace to Twitch. And I know his wife just did a really big interview on the Today Show and is starting to talk more about it. But when people are in that type of pain, you know, how dare you judge somebody? Because you don't know the why, to your point, and you don't know what it felt like. I mean, it was so hard for me to come out and publicly tell somebody that I really almost took those pills. But I was in so much pain that I'd never experienced that type of pain before. And people would say, oh, well, what do you have to be sad or depressed about? It was a culmination of all the trauma and different things that I had experienced. My best friend's suicide, which made me unpack all the layers of my father's suicide from a baby, walking away from a $500,000 a year job and seeing my peers still doing their thing and not sure what my, you know, purpose on life was anymore. It's like one thing kind of like started this downward spiral, one thing after another. And so you got to be able to give people grace when they're going through stuff like that.
Even when people complete suicide, I feel like, you know, my perspective on suicide changed a couple of years ago when I had, you know, my good homegirl, you know, Jasmine Waters, Jazz Fly. She committed suicide because she was so intentional about things that I know everything she did was for a reason. So when she did that, I was like, maybe some people just know when they want to exit. I don't know.
And, you know, I won't mention her name because I don't talk publicly a lot about my best friend. But the day before, I talked to her 12 hours before it happened in 2014. And I think she knew. She was calling to tell me goodbye. And at first, I was blaming myself. But from when I go back and rehash the story in my head, she knew what she was doing. And sometimes that's the thing about suicide. It's not people who die by suicide don't always have a mental illness. It could be just a result of something that has happened traumatically in their life, or the loss of a job, or, you know, a disease that you may have, a physical disease. But you can make up your mind and decide, I'm done.
Yeah.
I don't want anyone to ever feel like that. But that's a sobering reality, to your point, that, you know, sometimes, but, you know, we'll never know, right? Because we won't have a chance to really ask that person why. And I think that's why it's so hard for families to get past it, because there's so much mystery around it and so much that we don't know when people die by suicide. But I'm here to just give people grace, you know, so that, you know, you can kind of talk through it and talk through it with your family, with a therapist, so you can try to find some sort of peace with it.
Do you think people research the why enough?
It depends. You know, I think some family members, you know, it eats at them so much that they spend their life trying to figure out the why. And then other people that I've seen, and this is just from experiences, people that are truly spiritual, they just kind of lean on their faith and just say, you know what, I've finally made peace with this. I'm not going to sit here and try to figure out why for the rest of my life. But because it can literally drive you bonkers trying to figure it out. Because like in my instance, my father did not leave a note for my mother. We still don't know to this day why my dad did it. My best friend didn't leave a note. So many people that I know don't leave notes.
So on this National Silence the Shame Day, which is today, what should people do? What do you suggest people to do for today?
So today, National Silence the Shame Day, I want you to go to your phones, you know, go to our Instagram page. You can upload these virtual photo frames that we have, because everybody likes to see themselves on social media. So you can upload your photo. You can also share a video about how you're silencing your shame today, right? What mental health looks like in your life. And we also would love for you to support our organization. $1, $5, $10, $100, $1,000, you know, no amount is too big or small. So you can text the word silence to 707070. And every, you know, thing that you donate is going to go towards our programs as well as our organization and us being able to do the work that we do. But it's so important that we talk about these conversations and normalize them. One of the things, too, that I just want to mention is we're announcing a big partnership with Microsoft. We're getting an app, y'all.
Oh, dope.
Microsoft is building us an app, and it's going to launch in a couple of weeks. And it will have content. It will have, direct resources that you can go to, because we don't do direct services, but we want to push the community to the resources. So we're excited, and we're just trying to figure out, with AI and VR, like what we can do in this space from a technology perspective so that people can be, equipped with the resources and tools that they need around mental health.
How did you end up partnering with Microsoft?
So one of our board members, shout out to Darrell Booker, he runs their philanthropy side. And so he got connected to us, and they included us in their global hackathon. And it was interesting. They were talking to the staff about what they wanted to work on, and mental health was like the number 2 thing that came up. So most of the staff wanted to work on mental health. So he was like, I got this dope organization, Silence to Shame. And so that's kind of how it came about.
Wow. I don't like AI in the mental health discussion. I think AI is going to be part of the reason that people's mental health continues to deteriorate.
And hip hop, we see what's happening with that right now. But from a mental health perspective, I think, it puts you in a dangerous territory when you think about, bots kind of putting out what the humans should think and how we should think, act, and feel. And so we want to kind of be at the forefront of that, helping people realize, like, you need discernment, when it comes to AI, and you can't just, utilize that in lieu of therapy. It's really important. Also, I want to just leave a couple nuggets, if I can, for the listeners. So we talk about social media, and we're talking about AI and different things. I have the 3 Ds of social media that I use now, right? Is everything that I'm looking at on social media good for me? So the first D is discipline. You got to discipline yourself and not scroll through so many hours a day, because it can also, play a number on your mental psyche and send you into a downward spiral. So the first D is discipline. The second D is discernment. Is what I'm actually looking at good for me? Because all that trauma, when you see, a video of somebody fighting in a school and they just replay it, our kids are getting traumatized, and parents too, every time you watch it. And then the third D is delightful. Is it going to feed my soul, or what did Beyonce say, break my soul, right? So I try to just really make sure what I'm looking at on social media is, not spending enough and not spending too much time, that it's good for me, and that I actually am benefiting from the content that I'm watching. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, do you find it easier or harder to get people involved with the mission around mental health nowadays?
It's, again, we know the conversation has opened up in a large part. Thank you to you all for doing so much. And you talk about it every day on here as well as on social media. More and more people are talking about it. And like, I have friends that work in the entertainment industry, and they'll say, oh, yeah, our EAP program, it sends us these emails, but I'm not really utilizing it. It's not until something happens,
that's right,
that people go, okay, actually, you know what, I do need help. So I think the more we're talking about it, there's still a lot of work to be done for people actually taking that next step of actually using the resources. Y'all, the resources are out there. We don't have enough for our community, but there are resources out there. You got to use them. That's why I am so grateful that you all and Eddie and Thea, y'all book me to come back every year, because we can't just talk about mental health once a year.
Right.
Because people are out here hurting. And I don't know that things are going to change in the world right now. We're still at, again, the racial climate is high right now in the world. Again, what we're experiencing with natural disasters and mass shootings, like, sometimes y'all just waking up every morning, I'm like, I woke up today. Like, today's a good day because I woke up today. And it's so much that we have to deal with, and so much that kids, to me, have to deal with. And even when I was growing up in the 70s and 80s, life was kind of easy breezy. Like, the fact that, like, 6-year-olds have to go to school and actually do a drill about mass shootings, like, that's too much. It's too much on our mental psyche right now. So we do have to continue to have these conversations, and it's so important. And last thing I want to mention is I'm starting my own podcast. I'm so excited. I have a personal brand now called Mebo, M-I for mind, B-O for body. So I'm going to be talking to...
What is it?
Mebo.
Okay.
M-I for mind, and then the B-O is for body.
Gotcha.
So around mental and physical health, because it really does go hand in hand. So I'm going to be talking to celebrities, and I'm dedicating my first season to Hip Hop 50. We've lost a lot of celebrities, from heart disease, right? Diabetes. I'm going to be talking to Dr. Dre, who used to be on Yo MTV Raps, because he had to have his leg amputated. So just trying to help to continue to heal the community. I'm trying to be like you. Maybe one
No,
day
I'm trying to be like you. And that jacket is very fresh.
Thank you.
Talking about
Shout out
hip-hop
to
50.
Eric Bland. I am the hip hop professional. So Eric Bland and Run DMC hooked me up. I got the 35th anniversary shell toes that they put out.
You buy that to silence the shame?
No, I got sent this from Adidas, and when I had this, I put Silence the Shame on everything.
Oh, you put that?
You put it on there, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
That's
no.
very fresh.
Well, we appreciate you for joining. How can people follow you and
give them
get
the
more
info again so
information
they
and
can
all that?
donate.
Yeah, so again, today's May 5th, so please go to our Instagram page at Silence the Shame. You can text the word silence to 707070, or you can go to our website at www.silencetheshame.com to donate. And you can follow me at Shanti Das 404, SHANTIDAS 404, and make sure you're living that Meebo lifestyle. It's all about mind, body, wellness.
And I'll be donating to Silence the Shame.
And I want y'all to post, please. I hope
Absolutely.
you will post on May 5th.
All right. Well, it's the Breakfast Club. It's Shanti Das.
Wake that ass up.
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Rumor has it.
Call out a name, or you gossiping, or you chatty patty.
I'm gossiping.
This is the Rumor Report
I mean, I guess we on the Breakfast Club. This is where the tea spills, right?
Yes. On the Breakfast Club.
Now, not everybody is so mad about AI. You know, AI, they've been doing so many different things, creating Drake songs, creating all these different songs. But Timbaland, he's kind of excited about it because he's saying he gets to do his dream collab with AI.
All right, so I'm sitting here with my brother, Creative God, and we know that there's a lot of talk about AI. We know how the feelings of violating certain things, but let me tell you something. I got a solution that's going to be beneficial to everybody. But in the meantime, I got to share something I've been working on because I always wanted to do this. I always wanted to work with Big, and I never got a chance to until today. It came out right. Play.
Gotta have my palm, she won't be my man, squeeze. Look up, cheese, it ain't on me, it's in me.
Thoughts?
Salute to my good brother Timbo. Love that brother. I mean, sonically it sounds cool, but it lacks soul.
I agree.
It does.
You know what I mean? Like
I agree.
There's no spirit to it.
Don't
you
try
being
to be
funny,
funny,
or you being serious?
Are you
Literally.
being funny or
I'm dead
serious?
serious. There's no spirit to it. Like it's just nothing to it. That's why it's like I don't like that.
It's
It-
not
it
worth
feels
the AI that'll
spooky.
kill us later. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. This AI stuff is getting really crazy. Like, I've had people ask me, like, oh, would you replace people that work for you with AI? And I'm like, no, dude. Like,
Nah.
I don't really think what's happening is something to celebrate.
Yeah, I agree.
It's not worth the music. I don't care how hard the song is. It's literally a robot that could advance itself to the point where this is now the Breakfast Club. Welcome back to. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I mean, it's also interesting. We talked about earlier, of course, Ed Sheeran winning the lawsuit against the Marvin Gaye estate. I think dealing with posthumous artists, we've seen the hologram of Tupac that got brought out a couple years ago at a festival. I personally just hope that any and everybody that's involved with doing music like this, including even this record, hopefully Biggie's estate is getting some sort of money from it. We see even what's been happening with the recent loss of PNB Rock and Nipsey. If this is really going to be something that continues to happen, I just hope that their family is getting paid for it.
I agree with that, but I just feel like there's no spirit to this music. Even when they do it with artists that are still with us, it don't feel like there's no spirit.
Yeah,
to
I
it.
think
You
it's
know what I mean,
right.
there's no
Yeah.
soul to it. So it definitely sounds spiritless when it's people who are no longer with us.
Well, there ain't no spirit, no soul, or nothing in the
I'm telling
AI.
you,
All right.
Not at all.
Nothing.
Speaking of spirits.
Let's talk about Alicia Keys and Swiss Beats. Now, Swiss, could you imagine buying your
That's what I
your
meant.
significant other or spouse something and they just don't like it? Well, Swiss purchased Alicia Keys a birthday gift, which was a Maybach, a Virgil Maybach, which is going for about $352,000. There's only 41 in the U.S. and she wasn't happy about it.
What
You had a Virgil car, which is nuts.
The kids, that was a gift from her with the kids.
No,
I don't think she liked the goddamn car. I don't think she,
it's flashy for her. I wondered,
I don't
will
think she
we
liked the
actually
car.
see Alicia Keys in that car driving around?
I don't think it's still at the dealership.
Shut up.
I swear to God. I know she's already thinking like, are they gonna be on me if I bring the kids to school in this? Are people gonna like know
It's
how
me?
I'm moving? Cause we doing bam, 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 and, you know, it's
Yo,
the
it's not
first female with it. What's up? We in there.
It's not
And
a
she's
low-key
like,
car. Where am I going in this?
Interesting. You know when the word interesting and all that stuff started coming out, she hit me with the interesting.
Weezy just poured tequila and margarita mix in her coffee, yo.
I've
never seen anything like
iced
that
tea.
in my
I
life.
swear to God.
You put in your tea?
It was some tea left over.
That's why
in
you
it.
be having the runs.
That's why. That's what a Long Island iced tea is, liquor and tea.
Don't do that. It is not.
I didn't think so
As a
either.
former bartender, y'all have to stop asking for more tea in the Long Island. I will say, because there is no tea. It is not. It is Coke and sour
Well,
mix,
the tea
y'all.
is, I don't give a damn.
Anyways, Envy, I want to bring it back to Swizz Beatz and Alicia Keys. I think the problem here is Swizz wanted that car. A lot of men give things to their girlfriends and their significant others that they actually want themselves, and I think that that's the problem. Alicia probably doesn't like it because she probably actually vocalized, like most women do, what she wanted for her birthday or what she wanted. And instead, you chose to get her what you wanted, Swizz Beatz.
That spin the block still got Mandy upset.
Maybe you should literally listen to what your woman wants. And I think a lot of men actually do this. in
I
terms of gift
appreciate
giving.
you, Mandy. You know why? Because, you know, Charlamagne and Weezy, they're drinking liquor. They're so tuned out. But you're tuned in. And I appreciate that because they all over the place.
You know why? Because I don't listen to rich people problems. I ask my wage. All right? I have typical problems, mediocre problems, average problems.
Weezy, blow them up one time.
All right?
I actually got.
I don't have those.
I actually had a question for both of y'all.
No,
Yes, ma'am.
Don't ask me nothing.
So when I was reading the Swizz Beatz Alicia thing, all I could think about is like, I'm so tired of rich people in the car thing. As two men doing well, what are common gifts that you get your wives on their birthday? Because when I'm watching this, it always feels like there's a car with a bow or stacks of cash, and it's like this ridiculous, unattainable thing. And y'all seem normal, but rich. But like,
I am not rich.
Yeah,
I mean,
whatever.
I do it all.
I'm rich
If
in
it's time
spirit.
for my wife to have a car, I purchase my wife a car. If she wants a car, I purchase my wife bags. I purchase her shoes. I take her on vacation. We go to trips together. We experience life together.
I love that.
It doesn't matter. You know, I work for my family, so I tell everybody, before I die, I want to see my kids and my wife enjoy the fruits of our labor. Some people, they want to die and leave a bunch of things to them, and they don't get to see it. I want to see it.
No,
I want to
that's
see
a
my
very
kids and wife
Bill
enjoy
Gates
it.
thing to say.
Envy, what's been a gift that you have given your
car.
wife that she hasn't liked, and has she expressed it to you?
You know what? With my wife, I pretty much know her, and I know what she likes. I know what she enjoys. So I kind of stay in that route. You know what I mean? So I never have that problem. I know what my wife likes.
I love that.
I know what my life like.
I love that because speaking of, I know that, you know, there was talk about consent and sharing things on our podcast. Weezy brought up a gift that she hated from her ex on the podcast.
Oh, I was ready to sell it to what 2nd Street, whatever them consignment shops is.
What happened? What he got you?
She
He
didn't
got
like it.
me, and this is when men just try to find a label. A Givenchy wallet. It was bright red and
What is that?
huge. Not my style. And I was just like, I mean, I think he's so much because I can't be ungrateful. But I really don't like when men do that. Let me just find the price tag and buy my girl something that's like, you know what I mean? Like,
I think it's better to spend your money on experiences.
I agree.
You know what I mean?
Love
Like
that.
I like
Same.
the beautiful thing about my wife's birthday is it's around the holidays, right? So it's in November, towards the end of November. So it's like that's a great time for all of us to go away on
Yeah,
vacation.
you had
things
us
like
out at
that.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah, Weezy was with us one time. We went to Turks and Caicos. So I like experiences.
Yeah.
You know, that's what I like to spend money.
that's
on.
when I learned that you and your wife are really in love. That you talk about her so much, but it was real.
Why you say that?
I just got to see a couple that have been together so long and your daughter's around you and you showing each other affection, light touches, things like that. It's so beautiful to see.
Word.
He does that with me too. And that is your rumor report.
I miss you now. You won't stand up for.
Why
a
you
brother,
ain't
King.
standing up for
Stand
us,
up,
man?
King.
Because I ain't got no pants on.
See, exactly. You got a nice shirt on. What kind of shirt is that on? Givenchy?
This might be a Givenchy. This
What
might
is that,
be.
Gordon Gartrell?
It might be a Gordon Gartrell.
What it is?
People
My
talk.
wife
know what I
bought
mean?
this for me. I don't
Stand up,
know.
let me
I
see
think it's-
something.
Nope. Nope. Nope.
Cinco de Mayo!
Happy Cinco de Mayo.
Who you giving your donkey?
Okay, Joe Clayton. Okay, Joe Clayton. Hey, Cinco de Mayo. It's quality time. Okay. They know I love girlfriends up here. 4 after the hour, Q Marie Scott from Philadelphia is getting donkey of the day.
All right,
She's
we'll get to that next.
She's a great example of why Roe v. Wade should not have been overturned. We'll talk about it.
Oh, my
All right, it's the Breakfast Club. Good morning.
Wake that ass up.
In the morning.
The Breakfast Club.